You heard this song before, but I can't play the song due to copyright. Because of that, I have no choice but to make a song like MONTAGEM BAILÃO. I'm your dog Dogeda BeatZ. Without further ado, let the challenge begin.
Yes, sir.
So first I'm going to set the tempo to 130 BPM. I'm going to find a thumpy kick that works and put down a simple 4x4 pattern. I'll then layer another one accenting the downbeat. Now I'll open up Serum 2, create a pluck sound. I'm going to select custom wavetables for oscillator A and B, and then a square wavetable for oscillator C. I'll set oscillator A 1 octave down. I'll adjust the envelope to make it shorter, and then use it to animate the filter. I'll add some reverb, delay, and a bit of compression. Then I'll downsample everything, and then create a bouncy funk melody like this. It sounds okay, but I think it needs some drum. I'll duplicate the synth, but this one will play the bass notes. Now I'll go to my sample packs and find an 808 in the BeatZ Funk Folk collection. I like this one. Insensiville. Put down a bouncy 808. With that drop, and don't forget that sub bass drop. Here's what it sounds so far. It sounded a bit empty, so I decided to add some vocals with that vocal chop effect. And you can't forget those Brazilian ad-libs. My producer tag,
Subscribe to BeatZ,
which you should, and here's what the track sounds like. If you want to know how I make all my funk songs, I use this funk vault called BeatZ. There are 9 complete sample packs that cover all the sounds you need to make funk. If you're looking to make funk like this or like any of your favorite funk artists, scan the QR code or click the link in the descriptions, dogeda.store, and grab yours today. Now I made a track sound like MONTAGEM BAILÃO, but I realized it sounded pretty bland. I felt like it needed more, because if I just went with this instrumentation, then it would just sound like any other funk song. So I decided that this section needs some heavy bass growls. To do this, I took Serum 2 and select the monster wavetable. Here I'll set an LFO to automate the wave position to create these sounds. You can hear the heavy bass sound right now. I'm going to take sound design plugins like Thermal, Roar, and Rift. Then I'll resample these bass sounds to create a bass sound session. From here, I'll find the best bass sounds and save them in my vault. I'm going to go back to the bassline that I created and change the sound to a preset that I made. It's a more twangy bass sound and it sticks out a lot. So I'll render this as audio and use this bassline as a reference. From there, I'm going to go to my vault where I store all my sound design sessions and drag them across the bassline to create this interesting bass pattern. This is what I came up with. The idea is there, but it needs to sound more wide. So I tried recording some guitars and layering it with the bass, but I was getting tuning and phase issues. So I decided to sound design my own guitar. From there, I rendered the audio. I also added some bass glitch sound effects across the track. And here's the bass line now. Much better. Now I'll go back to the melody that I created and create another synth sound that will layer with the main melody. I'm also going to go back to the kick and layer it with a plugin called Snapback. This plugin basically adds a transient which makes your kicks more present in the mix. Here's a before and after. Much better. And don't forget that drum! Now here's what the track sounded like before. Then after. Way more interesting and dynamic. And this is only the first part of the song, because for the next drop, I'm going to switch it up by changing the beat to be more Brazilian by adding an accented kick on every first beat of the bar. Also reversing the kick. Next, I'll change the 808 to a sawtooth wave, then filter out the high frequencies, add some erosion for some width, compression, and that saturation. Now I'm going to create a new synth using Serum 2. I'll take 2 oscillators and tune them to make a power chord. I'll slightly adjust the decay of the notes and then use it to automate the filter. Then I'll add some noise, then put down a melody. Then I will stack the layers. Then I will stack the layers. Then I will stack the layers. Now I'll take a plugin called Omnisphere, and I found a bell sound that I like. I'll put down a top melody. Stack the layers. 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 Bro, how many layers did I add? Whoa! Then I'll glue all the synths together with some OTT, a bit of clipping, and that draw wave! I don't need drive on this. And here's the second drop. It's getting somewhere, but it still needs to be a bit longer. I'm going to add a drift funk part now. So first I'm going to change the drum beat. To do that, I will take this snare, adjust it with EQ to increase the high mids, and a delay with a short slapback for width. From there, I will let the kick clip with the snare to create that spanking sound. Then I'll add some cymbals and hi-hats across the track. And here's the drum beat. Now I'll create a respace and put down a bass line. Then I'll render a section of the respace to create this sound. Don't forget the sub bass. Now I'll create a cowbell using a plugin called Vital. Here I'll take 3 sawtooth wavetables, set 2 filters, and add effects, so you get this metallic cowbell sound. Then I'll add a cowbell that sounds more gritty. Then another one that sounds glassy. Then another one that goes a do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Then you want to add the wow. And don't forget that gun. Ooh. I'm good. And here's the drift funk part. Oh wait, I forgot to add the vocals. I didn't like the vocals from the original song I made, so I decided to use custom vocals. So here's the main vocal. Then I added one on the left, another one on the right. Then I added the harmonies to layer with the main vocals. And here's it all together. And then I added this vocal chop effect doing the and the whoop whoop whoop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're still not done yet because we need one more drop. So again, I'm going to take this drum beat and turn it into this beat. Now I'm going to make a nasty Brazilian bass using Serum 2. I'll take 2 square wavetables, add some noise, then add 2 more serums. Then I'll add effects like roar, EQ, pro gate for expansion, OTT, and that drum. Here's the bass. Then I added funk power chords to layer with the bass. And another one. Then I added this vocal melody I made that plays in the background. Don't forget the cowbells. And here's what it sounds like. Wait a minute, you can't forget the Brazilian vocals. Finally glued it all together with that. So here's the funk song that I made like MONTAGEM BAILÃO before. And here's what it sounds like after. The song is called Runaway and it's available on all streaming platforms. Again, if you want to make funk like this, click the link in the descriptions, Dogeda.store and grab yours today. And while you're at it, here's another funk video you don't want to miss.